we try to take a look at what was happening here in the national capital. What was something that you picked up when you were speaking to people out there? It was a tragic start to the month of June. Some 275 people.
Most of them said, was it not an avoidable accident? A lot of them said that it is about the signaling equipment and it was about how this accident panned out also. They were talking about why is it that the signaling systems are failing. Now, interestingly enough, the Indian Express has in fact raised the same issue. They are saying railway orders safety drive on signaling. Quick fix for green signal in Coromandel, likely the cause of Odisha train accident. They are still not saying that this could be the cause, but then there are a lot of other interesting things that they have also put into place. They are saying that there was malfunctioning of level crossing gate by which may have led to the tampering of the location box. Now, I'm trying to understand that also as well. What it says in the article by the Indian Express over here is this, that when they spoke to 6 officers, at least 6 of them, on how this thing works, this is what they got to know. What they are saying is that the Coromandel Express took the loop line instead of the main line and collided with the goods train, most likely because of tampering of the location box near the Bhanagar Bazaar railway station. The sequence of events have already been mentioned by this paper as well, and over here something interesting is also mentioned. It's saying that the sequence of leading to the crash and derailment of the train, officers said, was probably triggered by a malfunctioning level crossing gate. So, the issue starts from the level crossing gate itself, and its boom barrier was not working before the station. Now, in one version, the barrier remained raised, and in another, it did lower, but the signal continued to be red. Now, again, malfunctioning. The signal was red and the barrier gate was not lowered, or it was kept high, or was lowered, in a manner that wouldn't say that it would stop something. So, it started over there. So, the malfunctioning of the signals have started over there is what they are saying. And in another, it did lower, but the signal continued to be red. That is, even though it had lowered, the signal continued to be red. In both cases, it was a problem is what the officials say. So, clearly there seems to be somewhere else the problem has started off. So, this entire signaling seems to have gone wrong.
I feel like the communication between one department and the other department is so weak in the Indian Railways. I mean, you've got a major crash that's already taken place, and you couldn't even tell the third train that something like this is happening.
That is the tragedy of it. I mean, how is it that that was not actually communicated to the train that was headed in that direction? And they are talking about it. They have also, in page number 13, the Indian Express has put out system failure in train crash. It's an explanation about what could have happened. I'm just reading some excerpts of it. The safe running of trains takes place in accordance with the sound logic that is fed into the electronic interlocking system. So, this is an electronic system that is in fact looking at which train will be on which track. Okay, and this is how it works. Now, the various components of the interlocking system work in tandem, and if any one of them becomes non-compliant with the overall sound logic, the train is supposed to be brought to a halt, which means there was a system in place to say that if the signaling system went wrong, the train was immediately supposed to have been brought to halt. What happened with the Coromandel Express is unusual, is what it says. So, it says that there was failure when it comes to the signaling system. If the signaling system was rampantly creating trouble, then the inbuilt system was to ensure that the train immediately halted and never went forward. But why did the train go forward is the question that we need to answer now.
And that's the bigger question everybody wants to ask, because if these the train collision safety system is not being implemented in almost 19% of the Indian Railways, I mean, that's a big question mark. You've got, I mean, take a look at this sad and tragic news after news coming out of the Odisha train crash. It says 100 bodies have been unidentified and DNA sampling is required for those 100 bodies. I mean, imagine the ordeal that their family members must be and might be going through at this point in time. There's an FIR that says that many were electrocuted by the overhead cables. We're talking about 100% electrification of the Indian Railways, and rightly so. I mean, that's the next step forward if you want the right evolution of the Indian Railways. But 40 bodies that have no external injuries, and people saying that they might have been electrocuted because of the cables above.
Well, that is another safety issue that we have to look at, where of course, the way we build our carriages, or the coaches that we in fact call, they are they have a lot of metallic parts. They are good conductors of electricity. Whether the manner in which you have the, the beds that are laid out, or all of them are based on an iron frame. Iron is a good conductor of electricity. So, and your outer body is also made up of, iron or steel, as we would call it. So, industrial grade steel. So, these are actually good conductors of electricity. So, there could be some reason as to that could be mentioned that electrocution could have taken place because the live wires, of course, might have come in contact with the overall body of the carriages or the coaches, which are metallic in nature. So, this could have been the reason why we in fact saw those kind of tragedies as well. But the Hindu is in fact focusing on something else. They are saying that railways to secure signaling equipment with double locks. What they are saying is that a month-long safety drive is to be launched to ensure that cabins which house such equipment are provided with dual lock access system. Officials told to inspect the ensure that SMS alert is generated upon opening or closing of these relay rooms. Now, the Hindu also says that in this tragedy that has happened, it's saying that to secure the gumtis that house signaling equipment on the railway station premises with a double lock arrangement. A gumti is a small cabin at level crossing or near stations where railway equipment is kept. In a circular to the general managers of all zonal railways on Monday, Tej Prakash Agarwal, the Executive Director, Safety Railway Board, directed them to launch a month-long safety drive to ensure that the gumtis located within the railway station limits are provided with double locks. Will that be enough? Because see, this is being done to say that probably someone must have tampered with the signaling equipment, and that is why this tragedy has occurred. But is it enough to have this as such, Kabir, just to ensure there is a double lock facility, there's an SMS alert? Well, it looks poorly on the fact that the security measures, people are still not able to say whether it was tampered with or there was a systematic failure in the electronic signaling system.